in business. Is that, yeah, I don't know if
In
that's
the internet pipes.
right. Good morning, Max. How are you coping with the heat wave?
Um, it is much better today. There's actually some cloud coverage, and it's moving north, so coping better. The shutters are still closed, so it looks like I'm sitting in the dark. I'm not, I assure you. But yeah, I'm
That's
doing
good.
well. How are you?
That's good. I'm okay. What I did, I don't know if that was just a subconscious decision of mine that to prepare myself for the heat wave that will hit Sweden inevitably. But I forgot to turn on the AC air condition uh, today, so I had a rough night because I could hardly breathe and I was too lazy to go up and get the. I actually have a. It's a funny thing because I have a remote control to the AC, but
I'm surprised you have an AC. That's not
see.
very Svennebanan of you. Health,
I
health.
gotta tell you, brother. So here's the deal. This house, we bought it. We bought this house 2.5, 3 years ago now,
Uh-huh.
and it came with all sort of weird stuff. Like I forgot to say, I have an I have a spa bath, an outdoor hot tub, you know, which is something that I would never buy myself. And there are some, and yeah, but it's a nice little house. It's not big. It's built in 1910, so it's old,
Okay. Yeah.
but it's well maintained, and it's out in the countryside. So I've showed you some pictures, and
Yeah.
of course you need to come over soon
Yeah.
and visit.
August.
But yeah, but it's the interesting thing is that the disposition of the house is fairly inconvenient for people. So I remember when we were touring the house, there was when the broker was showing this to some potential buyers, and people were
Hmm.
walking around and saying, "Oh no, look, the rooms are too small, or the rooms are not well, positioned, and so on."
Hmm.
And me and Jessica was like, "Yes, good," because we saw opportunities. But it's not only when you buy real estate, it's not only you that needs to see opportunity. The other people need to see obstacles because that will drive down the price, or at least not, bump it up.
Yeah.
I had a friend recently. He started to a bidding process for a house that was priced at 2.5 million Swedish crowns, and it ended up
Yeah.
at 3.7, right? So
Oh.
1,200,000 above the opening price,
Yeah.
because a lot of people saw opportunities, and you don't want that. You want to be the only one. But anyway, it came with air condition, so we can lower the temperature down to 18 degrees Celsius. It costs, of course, shitloads of money because electricity is not that
Yeah.
cheap, but it's
No.
very convenient. And
Yes.
yeah, so that's what I did. All right, but that's me. And you had a good.
Yeah.
Well, it's better. We are back streaming, back to streaming, and back to Project Art Nouveau. And I was
Hmm.
thinking that today we will explore uh, continuous integration and continuous deployment.
Yeah.
And since we are making use of GitHub projects in this particular project, I
Hmm.
was thinking that why not take it a step further and dive deeper into GitHub functionality
Yeah.
and make use of GitHub Actions, which is something that I've heard of. Um, Last year, when I was running a community training program called Work the Web with this Agile Ventures community, a
Hmm.
student of ours. So I did implement continuous integration and deployment in a project that we were working on, but a student of ours was like, "Oh, why don't we use GitHub Actions?" And he started to like work with that. I didn't have the
Hmm.
time to um, to get involved. He struggled a lot, so that kind of put me off a little bit from
Hmm.
diving into this topic. But I reckon that Project Art Nouveau is a good opportunity to acquaint ourselves with GitHub Actions. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so full disclosure, then I'll be at a slight advantage because
Oh,
I have used GitHub Actions for my morning pages, project, which is also open source. So you can have a look at that. But and I've successfully integrated Code Climate into GitHub Actions there. So Code Climate being this automatic code quality tool we use. So I think you proposed we look a little bit at the documentation, but we also have this fallback of a YAML that is formatted just the way we need it to be. So I think GitHub Actions is great. I don't. Before we were using Semaphore CI, we should say, and I don't have any complaints about Semaphore, except I do have a memory of, together with you, Thomas, I think we spent like a good 4-hour chunk with some other students, getting it up and running to work with the test reporter from Code Climate, all these things.
we did.
And it was a bit difficult. And the reason it was difficult is not because we had to make difficult decisions, but because every decision we made, it took a really long time to see whether or not it was working.
Yeah. Yep.
And I have, this is continuous deployment integration for you, but like, I think my experience messing around with GitHub Actions in maybe, when was it, like a few months ago, it felt faster.
Okay.
It could have been in my mind, and we'll see now. But it felt faster, and every time I made a change, I felt like, I had to go through a lot less trouble getting it to run, basically.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I think this was the right decision, because I also don't have anything against Semaphore. I've been using it since it was this in classic mode, and now with Semaphore 2.0, I think it's great. So a big shout out to the people behind Semaphore. They did a fantastic job. I've used Travis before, and if you compare Semaphore to Travis, I think that Semaphore brought a lot to the table and made things much easier. Then they kind of lost touch with ease of use, because I don't think that the 2.0 is the best interface. But that today's stream is not about Semaphore, so let's leave it at that. It's always good to expand your palette of tools. So I think that just doing a similar thing with other tools, or achieving the same result with other tools, is just a good thing to know, because the more tools the easier it is to start using something that you've never seen before, like if you use Jenkins or Circle CI or whatever, right? So that's good. Also, in our streaming format, we had this idea about reviewing blog posts or materials that other people wrote, just to say whether they're we like them or not. It's not. It's,
whether we get it.
Yeah, if we understand what they mean. So I do have a blog post that I found that showed up in my network somewhere. Let's see if we can pull it up on screen. Where are you? There you are. Right. How to build a CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Actions in 4 simple steps. That was very intriguing. Sounds like a clickbait, but who knows? But the question is that if you've done this, Max, perhaps reviewing this blog post is a bit too much or out of scope. I don't know. Or we could do it, based on your previous experience, if this is actually good advice or not. Perhaps
can we just we won't read out this whole thing, but can we just look at the 4 steps? Let's assume that we accept that there are great advantages to using GitHub. If you just Actions, if you scroll down to step 1, and let's just see what they're even further down. I mean, we don't need to,
like the guy is like introducing the reader to what CI/CD is and the key advantages. And then we have this: how to build a CI/CD pipeline. Be clear before we dive in. Okay, so we can skip that. Okay, we have a YouTube thing, and then we have step 1. All right, create or choose a repository and pick a project. been there, done
Great.
that, right?
And they're done that.
Yeah, okay. Step 2.
Step 2.
Open GitHub Actions in your repository to start building your CI/CD, and then there are some instructions. Right. Code queue.
Right. It
Yeah,
describes what YAML is.
right. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the step 3, just to,
Yeah.
if we were going to do an overview. Make changes to your code to trigger your okay, so step 2 seems to be the entire setup, right? And then you just want to trigger in the pipeline in step 3, like actually have it run. And I assume that step 4, did I miss
wait,
anything?
scroll up. I think you scroll up a little bit, or you went past it.
Yeah, there it is.
There.
Take a look at the workflow visualizer and live logs to get a full look into how your pipeline is running. Right.
I think we can go. Let's head over to my morning pages repo and have a look at what I did there and see if that makes sense to you, Thomas. And if it does, let's try to implement it into our Art Nouveau project. And if it does not, maybe we dive a little bit deeper into the documentation.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's do that.
I have it open if you want to switch to my screen.
Yeah.
So here's my morning pages client. You can see a green little check mark, which immediately is a sort of indication that there is some kind of continuous integration happening here. I've also included some badges from Code Climate, these two. But the point here is that, look, there's a directory, a hidden directory called GitHub. Inside of that, there's something called workflows. And inside of that, there's a main YAML. Now, as I understand it, doesn't have to be called main YAML. It can be called test. It can be called, you can divide these up. You can have several going. But if we click there,
main kind of implies that it could be main and others, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I think it doesn't really matter. Here, I have misnamed this a little bit because, I sort of call everything Cypress tests. I defined that I wanted to run on pushes to the branch development and pull requests to the branch development. Not so weird.
Right.
I can probably do this as a one-liner, but this is fine. Then it has some jobs very similar to Semaphore CI.
Yep.
The first one I name Cypress Run, and unfortunately, maybe I should split up Cypress Run and what's going to happen here. But okay, if I rename this like Run Tests and Send, but okay. I have to define what it runs on. Ubuntu latest does exactly what you think it does. Then there are steps to each job, okay? And first off, this one I think is obligatory. This is checking out
the code,
the repo in question,
right?
The code. Then before I do anything else, and I've defined this as to be set up Code Climate Test Reporters. So, in YAML, if you do a pipe, you can do a multi-line commands. So here we have a little downloading the test reporter. Of course, these 3 lines, they look a little weird. They come from the Code Climate documentation. So, we basically authorize this test reporter.
Gotcha.
And we run its before build command. Then I need to install some dependencies. Don't really need this pipe here. Bad form on my part. Sorry, I apologize. But yarn install, nothing clever here. Then I have something which I name Cypress CI run, and that runs yarn Cypress CI. So I do need a Cypress CI command in my package JSON. And then I publish the code coverage, which is a 2-line where, and here I felt a little bit clever. If you don't specify the branch Code Climate, they'll receive the report, but they won't tell you the coverage of that branch, which can be annoying. So this sorts that out. This is the after build command, and I decided to store, the CC test reporter ID. Sorry. Sorry about that.
No
Those are the
drama.
dogs.
No drama.
I decided to store this as a GitHub secret.
Okay.
I, I
So
mean,
I
maybe
assume you
that's a
know
little
the way
overkill,
to do
but
that.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's all she wrote.
I love
And
the.
then
I see that you on line 14 to 17. You base that on that. Just I assume on that 4 hour research session that we did long time ago, right? When we
it
set this up.
sure is, yeah, it's still paying off.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
this is the meat. But let's actually look at a run. So if I go to details just to see what it looks like, right? It doesn't, you'll notice it doesn't say main.yaml anywhere. It just has this Cypress run because that's the job in question. And then you get these sections. And I think there is a way. You see how this, the install dependencies takes 37 seconds?
yeah,
I think there is a way to cache them.
yeah. Well, is this the
But
first run or have you run multiple runs?
no, this is which run is this? Let's just look at let's go back to the code. Let's go to our 24 commits. And so, no, this is the penultimate run.
Okay,
So if
okay. Yeah, I got you.
and I just, yeah. If I go into address protected routes, the commit, I should be able to see the actual run somewhere. Maybe I just have to click the green. Yeah, okay. The green arrow brings me to details. Details gives me all of this. And so you can expand these, of course, and see all the things that happened here. We're running it in headless mode. Cypress is it.
Yep.
Sorry, I should specify.
Yep.
Well, naturally, to use Code Climate, this also requires to set up which we've actually done on a separate stream, to set up code coverage metrics.
Yeah.
In our code base. But
Yeah.
but now, we're just looking at the CI part. This doesn't do any continuous deployment beyond.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, because so today we want to perhaps not look at code, code coverage metrics or whatever, but actually deploy this one way or another.
Yeah.
Right. The problem with this is that we usually use Netlify for deployment, and Netlify comes with their own CD, not CI, but CD mechanism.
That plays very well with GitHub.
Yeah, it does. It does. So my question here is, and I don't have an answer to it yet, but perhaps we can figure it out. How could we get that to play with GitHub Actions? Like, you actually trigger this, and once this is set up,
well,
we
all right,
deploy.
I
was just thinking perhaps we can use something else than Netlify later, because that doesn't have I mean, or perhaps that's an overkill. Perhaps we should just go with Netlify and just use that pipeline.
I'm just the reason I'm hopping in here is because if I go to what is this? Did they delete all my sites? That's great.
What? You don't have any? What's up?
Oh, Netlify just did some update that once you have what?
Well, what if
That's
you click
nice.
sites? There's a link in the oh, there's nothing there.
There's nothing. Thanks, Netlify. Maybe check your account too, because that's a bit nerve-wracking, because now if I go here and I look at this Netlify success, is the app actually okay? Oh wait, look, I'm in Max Arvid. Right. Okay. No, false alert. I logged into Netlify using my GitHub. I should have logged in using. Hang on a second.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
1 second. I have several accounts. That's the issue. Okay, everything is forgiven. That was my mistake. Log out of this guy and log in with email, maybe. There it is. Here we go. Okay, so if I head over to this guy, which I think is my Relax Malabi, which is my morning pages.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the settings here, is in site settings. We should have an option
Build and deploy.
somewhere.
It's on build and deploy probably, right? I don't know.
Build and deploy, most certainly. Right, it sets the repo, and I think, here's the build commands, branches, deploy previews, build hooks, deploy keys, build image. So probably in here. No, that's fine. Build settings, edit settings. So here I can say, anyone on the site administration, Netlify will build your site according to the settings and push to your Git provider. Somewhere, if I remember correctly, this, I'm not crazy, right? Like the somewhere you can say deploy only when it's past continuous integration.
Deploy.
Where is that?
Right.
Where is that? Analytics, log during functions, identity functions, access control. Continuous deployment, post-processing deployment. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe
yeah. I don't
maybe I
know.
dreamt it.
I don't know.
I mean, it's nice that it does like temporary deploy previews of pull requests, but
Gotcha. No. That's cool. So here's the thing. This is a front-end application, so we can just deploy this
yeah,
with Netlify the way it stands, right? But if it's not, if we deploy to Heroku, for instance, right?
yeah,
I mean, on Heroku you can also activate. I think perhaps you're you know,
remembering, yeah,
misremembering, because on Heroku you can actually set this wait for the CI server to pass. You just get a trigger from the continuous integration service.
yeah,
But I remember, do I remember correctly that on a project that we were building, let me switch to my service, to my thing,
mm-hmm.
on on a community project that we built for Agile Ventures, we had this Travis YAML file. Do we still have it? I don't know if we do, because we moved away from Travis a
Now you
while back.
migrated off, yeah,
Let's see, code climate YAML, coveralls YAML, Ruby simple cov. No, we don't have it anymore. But so in Travis, we had this.
is there a directory maybe? I
Let's
see you
see.
have a .github directory
Yeah, let's
and
see.
a .semaphore one. It could be in there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of legacy here.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in there.
Staging. This is MD Jasmine Halper, right? No, it's gone apparently. No, because so what we had is uh, it was like a post CI job. You understand? Like once continuous integration is done,
Yeah,
you had a post job, or something, setting that you provided. In this case, it did provide a Heroku API key, and had information that push out to this server, this application, and once Travis was done with whatever it was supposed to do, uh,
mm-hmm.
and on green, it also deployed automatically. So in that YAML file that you had of yours, if you switch back to the YAML file for a second,
Yeah,
uh, like I think a theory of mine is that, yeah, you have the job, but then
yeah,
once this job is going, is if it doesn't error out, right,
yeah.
you actually do a deployment. Um, and the
I
reason
mean,
why I'm bringing this up is because, you know in a while we will be building the API, and that's not something you deploy with Netlify, but rather Heroku or some other platform as a service.
I think maybe though, for our purposes, let's say we go with Netlify for Art Nouveau. For our purposes, it might be okay for it to always deploy any updates to the main or development branch. And the fact that, like, I mean, look, okay, let's look at a closed pull request here, for example. This one for ads protected routes, you know, this is, you get this, you know, with the first commit, basically, you get the deploy preview.
Yeah.
With a log and a deploy preview, and that's great, you know. Wow, even a QR code for your mobile. That's really handy. And you can see I've failed all these builds, and maybe we just set up a thing on GitHub that you cannot merge a failing build.
Yeah.
You see?
So
like
yeah. No. Absolutely. What I'm saying is that you have multiple ways to achieve this. You know, you can.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
the, what I'm looking for is a one source of truth, right? You
Mm-hmm.
set it up in one file, and so, you know, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right? But okay,
Yeah.
let's not dwell on that right now. Let's see if we can. Um, could you let's go through the process of setting this up for Art Nouveau. What I'm looking for here is, since I have some experience with other continuous integration and continuous deployment services,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm looking for is to see if this brings something new to the table, if it's better than anything else. Do you understand?
I understand.
For instance,
Yeah.
just an example, I couldn't find that Travis setup that we used a while back, many years ago, but on Circle CI, for instance, which is another continuous
Mm-hmm.
integration service,
Yeah.
you can also say, all right, run through the test suite. If you go green, deploy to this particular server, and you can
Mm-hmm.
say, you can also add some logic that if it's a development branch that you are merging into, then you push
Mm-hmm.
out to a development or staging server. But if it's the
Mm-hmm.
master or main branch, you push out to a production server, right? That
Mm-hmm.
is the CD, CI, or CI CD pipeline that I would like to have. You know, that you go on, you create pull requests to different branches, and those branches are corresponding to various servers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and also, just to take this a step further, I would say that ultimately what I would like to see is, you know, a developer create a feature branch. That feature branch goes through a code review. It's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the tests are being run when the PR is being created and all of that stuff. You have test coverage so that the code reviewer has enough information and something to fall back on when making his or her decision whether the code should be merged. When it is merged,
Mm-hmm.
another CI run is being triggered just to make sure, and the code is being deployed to a staging server. Now, what I would love to see, and I haven't built this in any projects yet, is that a load tester should be triggered with on that
Oh,
staging server, and
yeah.
then once the load tests are green or within acceptable parameters,
Mm-hmm.
then I would love to see a pull request being automatically created
Mm-hmm.
from the development branch or staging branch to the main branch of the project, which is either main or master, and then the um, CI pipeline would be triggered again, and then potentially either by human interaction that somebody presses a button, or if all the tests are passing, you can just push this out to a production server. Do you understand? That
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
in my opinion, a desirable state, because
Yeah.
then you can eliminate as much, you know, computer human. No, I mean like manual
Yeah.
review and manual
Exactly.
triggering, and also
Yeah.
if you can keep this within one single configuration file,
That would be
then
so nice.
you are in a good place, in my opinion. But that's the you know.
That's the castle on the hill. Yeah, I mean, I would, again, assumptions lead to lots of errors, but I would assume it's easier to have GitHub Actions create a pull request to some repo in comparison to a CI pipeline service that's not hosted on GitHub.
I assume that too. That's why I am curious about GitHub Actions. How much do they bring to the table in terms of
Yeah, yeah.
possibilities to fully automate the entire process, right? But
Hmm.
uh, let's see if we can set this up for Art Nouveau. I
Yeah,
would be very happy.
but well, I'm gonna check out the development branch, and we'll do a CI branch that will then merge. Just give me 2 seconds. All right, so let's see here. We will check out a continuous
I hate that word.
integration. I should have just called it CI, right? Continuous integration. And what did I do wrong? I forgot the flag dash branch. And here I'm going to make a directory called .github. Now you can do this on github.com, of course, but you don't have to. And then I'm going to make another directory inside of .github called workflows, I believe. Let me just make sure. I'm going to compare with my morning pages.
Yep.
Yeah, workflows, that has to be plural, I believe. And now I can just touch GitHub workflows, and we'll call it main.yaml for now.
And just by the way, do you know what YAML stands for?
Yet another markup language?
Yes, sir.
Or no, wait, or does it stand for YAML is not another markup language?
Yes.
Yes, inclusive, yes. Okay.
It stands for both, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me open the code editor here, and let's see if we can get something going. So, let's see if we can get something going. There is our little YAML file.
It's called a recursive acronym, of course, right? Because it
Of
could,
course it is.
yeah. So according to some, it stands for yet another markup language, or YAML ain't markup language, right? Right.
And our ambition, right, is to do a bunch of things which would constitute all, continuous integration of Copilot. Go away. And we want it to be run on 2 things, right?
So I noticed that you're doing this manual in it. So is there a way for people that want to avoid to do this manually to get this scaffolded for you somehow?
Yeah, there is. I mean, you can go into just actions. Each repo now has this actions section, and let's say you just choose new workflow. I shouldn't do it on morning pages client. I should do it. But anyway, if you choose a new workflow, you get some suggestions. This is a React one, so we get a Node.js one as first, as the first suggestion. If you click on this, let's say, oh, there's one for Jekyll. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm a Jekyll fanboy secretly. But I hear some things they call continuous integration.
What
You
if
can
you
probably
click view all
search
on
these.
CI? If you click on view all, because there seem
Yeah.
to be more than just
Deno enclosure, yeah. So in continuous integration, I mean, I can just search for Cypress, if we're gonna do some testing. No, that didn't work. What about React? Yeah, so you end up in the Node.js. Let's have a look at it. Or should I look at all of them again? Let's peek
What if you
quickly.
just type semaphore just to see what if they have something
But that would be
on
in
automation
competition, right?
tools?
So
Yeah,
probably automation.
but
But
if
I
they have
wonder if
Django,
I just look inside of this thing, what do? They say workflow do a clean installation of node dependencies, cache and store them. We do want to learn how to do that. Build the source code, run tests across different versions of Node. So that's really nice. So here they do similar kind of thing, push and pull.
yeah. Then they have these
But
strategies. I'm wondering about the strategy.
yeah, and the matrix thing, right? The matrix is if you want to do it on multiple versions of Node. And then so basically, yeah, I don't know why I call it strategy. We should look that up. But so they have steps, and then it uses, right? That's fine. And then it runs over the different versions in the matrix. Then it sets up node, like set up node. Okay, v3. Okay, fine. Then that's
Yeah,
just all to set up node. Oops, did I move something? Then it runs npm continuous integration. So that's your package JSON commands. Run build dash dash if present. Don't know what that flag does. And then it does a
the
run of
testing,
the
right,
tests.
and then it doesn't do
Uh,
anything. But okay, so you use jobs, and this guy is using steps at this point. Is there?
no, he's got a
Oh, he
jobs
has
on
jobs
line
here. Okay,
12.
gotcha. And you also have
Yeah,
steps in yours. Do you have steps in
yeah,
yours?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I do. Wherever it went.
Okay, so basically what we're saying here is that inside of this interface that is called actions, it's basically like a scaffolder, right? Is that what we're like? It's a tool to, instead of setting this up manually on your local branch, it just creates a branch for you, and
Look, I mean,
and
we can let's try to use it. I don't have to do this manually. I can just do a little git stash, and then right, I haven't committed anything. I can just remove dash rf my dot
dot
git dot GitHub. Well, don't have to actually specify if I do a recursive. So now if I go to my Art Nouveau, this is the project, this is the repo, go into actions.
And the
We
reason why
can,
I brought this up is because a lot of users, me included, if there is an interface, they would probably, that would be the first choice, right? To say, okay,
yeah,
let's use the interface. I know that everything that can be done through a service could also be done manually. So I applaud you for doing that. But I think
all right,
for
yeah, no,
as a
that's
first
fine.
exposure to GitHub Actions, let's see if we can find something.
I just wanted to see if there was any special things here. Deploy web apps to Azure static web apps. That's interesting. If we do end up using
Yeah, so
Azure, but
could you open this one? Just is there any way to look at it?
yeah.
I would like to see the deployment steps.
All right. So right. So here's how to set up the secret and the app location, app artifact location, Azure static web. But let's see. So same push pull, and then they set a few environment variables.
Yep.
They give it permission to read the contents, then jobs.
Yep.
Build and deploy jobs, and there they have to set some permissions. And then this is how they do if statements.
Okay. All right. So that's good. So
So
you can have logic in there. That's not
you
bad.
can have logic in there, yeah. YAML logic, and then they set up Ubuntu latest, and they do the first thing, which is build and deploy job inside of build and deploy job. So it uses the code. Don't
This
know
is
what the
interesting with
submodules are.
submodules. True. I wonder what that means because it's
Yeah.
okay.
All right, then gives a name to this thing it's about to do. It gives it an ID. It says you use this static web apps deploy. So that's this is like in the GitHub Actions marketplace. Azure has probably written a module. It specifies a few things there. Application, right? These are the environment, the environment variables, and then it goes straight to. I don't see any real commands.
Oh,
But,
looky,
well,
looky, looky. Oh, sorry, but I jumped out to
yeah,
60. Look at this one. Close pull request job.
yeah. So if pull request GitHub event action equals closed, that's a nice thing to know. Then you do this. So you automatically close a pull request if it's closed.
Oh, yeah, right.
But
That sounds weird.
yeah, it sounds a bit weird. But I
But
guess,
is that
does
when?
Azure track pull requests that way, or is it that
Well, if we
it's
scroll down, perhaps that is the deployment. When you actually
yeah, well,
close it.
this is the end of the file actually.
Oh, it is.
73. Yeah. So maybe Azure through these commands is building every branch until or every pull request branch until it's actually closed. And then it gets rid of it by doing this action string close.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. Right. Let's. Yeah. Okay. Now, I just wanted to
Let's go
look at.
to yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
go
go
to
back.
node.
Yeah.
Let's go to node. So I go into actions. This is the first one. Let's look at what we get. Cache and restore, then build the source code and run tests. Okay, so call it Node.js CI. I don't have a problem with that. We are interested in development because that's what we're working with. Maybe that auto-generated, that would be cool. And so we have this build on Ubuntu latest. Do we want to do the strategy? I guess it doesn't hurt.
No. Nah.
Well, hang on, because then I got to change all these.
Just say 16. Just remove that from 12 and 14 from the array, and you can keep it. Like line 19, you see there are 3 node versions. If we just keep one of them.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
so the thing is that why I want to remove it is because every run will take time.
It will. Okay, we're checking out the code. We're checking out Node. We say this is the version you're using. This is what I'm interested in. Cache.
Mm-hmm.
But npm, maybe we should say yarn.
Yeah. Try that.
And then here for this,
we have those runs that will be similar to our runs that we are using, right? The like CI, yeah.
Yarn, Cypress, CI. Why did I bother? But yes, okay. And then here's the build, which
we don't need that.
We don't need it.
And you don't need the line
right
31
now.
either.
No. What we will need to add eventually, if we want to, is add sending coverage, but we don't need to do that right now to code climate.
Not in the basic setup, right? So in the basic setup, the only thing we're doing is checking this thing out and running the tests.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But is the branch called development? Is it dev or dev?
So this would, if I do this commit, it's going to be to development. The branch is to development, but pull requests to development. So that's what we want.
Gotcha.
If I click preview, what happens? Oh, it just does a little bit of formatting.
Yeah.
But okay, let's try that. I'll start the commit.
Yeah.
And now I can choose. Oh, that's nice. Commit directly to the development branch or create a new branch. Maybe I'll create a new branch.
You should probably create a new one, right?
And I'll call it CI with GitHub Actions.
Right.
And I should give it, oh, so it says create Node.js YAML, adds Node.js YAML. I won't extend that. I'll just propose this new file. That's interesting. Why do they call it that? All right, so then I have to open the pull request. That's fine. Let's draft this pull request. Okay. Ooh, it's doing the thing. Look. It runs even on a draft.
Oh, that's nice. Okay,
so I can click on details here, and we should get a nice little readout. Yeah. Oh, very nice.
We are
because we don't have Cypress CI. Why did I say Cypress CI? I should change that.
Okay, so but the thing is now, okay, so here's the deal. The thing is that branch exists up in your is that on upstream, or is that on your fork?
Let's find out. If I fetch my origin, I think it's on upstream, because if I now do a git br-a, a good time to do br-a, on my origin, I don't have the continuous integration, and neither does upstream. But if I do a git fetch upstream, hey, look at that, git br-a, upstream now has CI with GitHub Actions. So if I say
so you need to check out the remote branch, right? Exactly.
Upstream CI with GitHub Actions, and now open this in my code editor. Then close this. Okay, now open this. Here it is, and I can change this to just yarn Cypress.
Well, or keep it as Cypress CI and just simply add that script to the package JSON and push it up directly to upstream.
I like where your head's at. So let's add a little script here, and we'll call it, well, it needs a comma. Ooh, there, what did I do? Needs a comma, and we say Cypress CI, and this should just be a Cypress run, right? So maybe we'll add a little Cypress run here and say Cypress run, and we need a comma, of course. And then here we can do, we basically can do this command, just copy it, but instead of CY open, we do a CY run. Does that look sensible? Do I need browser none for this? Probably not. Well, we can find out. I can do yarn Cypress CI on my machine.
Yep.
And right, we get the start server and test 200 thing. So it has started the development server. I think this is fine. We could also cheat and look at my morning pages, but of course it's going to take a minute. Right, we get those warnings we haven't fixed yet. We only get those here in the terminal, not in the actual Cypress terminal.
The thing is that I don't get them.
It's a bit annoying. You don't get these?
No. That's weird. I mean, we have similar setup.
Yeah. All right, we're running Electron. Look at that.
Right. So
now I have a pet peeve. Yeah. What is my pet peeve?
You should probably say -- browser Chrome on that runner.
Yeah.
You know, start.
But
on CI run. Yeah. -- browser.
I can do that.
Or is it -- Chrome? Right.
-p is the shorthand. But my pet peeve is I don't want Cypress to, and it's already doing it, to generate videos. I don't like videos. I can use videos one day, but today is not that day. So I'm just going to set videos. Or is it video? Do you remember?
I don't know. I do not. But so I will check it out.
Okay. I'm going to take the liberty of deleting this. Go away. All right. All right, it's running the tests as should be.
Right.
So even though we remember when we did exclude spec pattern, we were technically out of scope, but now we're using it.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Or are we doing all of it? Because I'm not passing in a CI variable yet.
Okay, so just say CI.
Yeah.
CI equal, you know, on the right on the Cypress CI. Just say CI equal. You can remove the browser none, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
But can I just do CI like that?
I think you need to say equal. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. You can say true if you want, but you don't have to. That's my opinion.
I prefer short. I'm wondering if these warnings that I get will pop up. Oh, well, that browser none maybe does need to be there. Why did it open this for a Cypress run? That's kind of annoying.
Oh, because okay, you need it. Yes, of course, because you are starting the server, right? So you have to say browser. It's used by start test.
Right. Okay, so.
And since we're using Ubuntu, that's okay, because on Windows that wouldn't take any effect.
Right. Nito, I didn't get any warnings about this video's false, so I think what I'll do is a commit and then you take over.
Did you check out or did you run it?
Yeah, it's running right now, but so we do get those warnings, which are just use effect warnings. We can fix that. But yeah, webpack compiled. It's doing this Cypress run. Okay, there's Electron. Oh, what did you create? Is it video and not videos? No. Is it downloads? Don't know what downloads is. I forgot to check that out. Apologies. It's running all cy.js, which is all we want it to run. And that should have 5 parts. Oh, pretty formatting from my terminal is gone.
Yeah,
but that's fine. Let's see how far we get here. Well, I mean, it's running. We don't have to sit around and watch the paint dry. Let me.
About if the videos are
it made a video, so it's singular video, right?
Right.
Video.
Okay, yeah, you just clean this up and commit, right?
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna kill this. Delete these videos. Don't want them. Git status.
Yeah, it says here video recording.
Now what's interesting is I can do I can do git ci-am and I'll say configures Cypress to not generate videos and adds Cypress CY package JSON script. But I can't push to myself, right? I have to do git push upstream CI with GitHub Actions. Great. You want to switch to your screen?
Absolutely. And in the meantime,
Nice.
our long-standing friend, the UT61, the subscriber follower of our channel, just got finally registered for the uni. So
Oh,
congratulations to
nice.
that.
Awesome.
Awesome. Good stuff.
It's a reason to celebrate.
Definitely. Definitely it is.
Yeah.
What I have on my screen now is the docs from github.com about GitHub Actions. Just while we're waiting for this to run, there's a lot of things about deployment here. What is off-putting a little bit is that they have example store Amazon, Azure, and Google. They don't use Heroku, but I assume that if you can do this on EC instances, you can probably set add these settings for Heroku as well, right? Of course. So you have different steps probably, and then you will have to identify yourself with Heroku somehow, as you have to do with Amazon here, and then build this. Here is building a Docker container, but you don't necessarily have to do that, of course. But the question is, so this is a deploy script, right? All in all, the entire file is a deploy job. Again, what I'm looking for is, let's run the CI, wait for the CI to finish without erroring out, and then deploy. If it errors out, do not deploy. You understand?
I wonder if there's a way. I mean, so you remember I created that file main YAML. Like, could we have several files in the workflows and have them depend on each other? Make those if statements, given that we can use logic in these YAMLs, and that would be a very, to me at least, intuitive. Maybe this is too simple a solution, but an intuitive way to run it in order. I wonder.
So probably look, if you can do it in one file, then as usually in programming, you can extract it to a separate file, right? Some functionality, and so you could probably call on another YAML file. But again, you have to condition things, right? If everything worked out, then you trigger another job. So let's see, GitHub Actions. A couple of weeks ago, I have a comment on Twitch. I had to write some workflow for cloud compilation of iOS app and then upload the result to the online iOS simulator. Perks of developing iOS React Native apps on Windows. All right, so if you do React Native on Windows, you can't really simulate that. But there is an online simulator. If you can send us a link to an online simulator, that would be great. I actually been looking for something like that with some of our students that are running on Ubuntu, because the Android simulator is extremely heavy and it slows down.
I mean, the Mac one is a bit of a piggy too. Huh?
Well, it is, and the
it's built in.
If you can make things a little smoother. Let's see, appetize. That's interesting. Let's see. Run native mobile apps in your browser.
Testing, nice.
Manage your unlock new features, demo, upload docs, sign in. So is this?
Do they?
Is this?
Do they do it for free?
Yeah, is this a free service or do you have to pay for it? That's a question.
It looks clean.
Yeah, the interface seems a little little.
Yeah, but I mean, if we can run automated tests on this, then
Yeah.
that's nice. You know, it's kind of like a mobile code climate thing.
Yeah, it is not free, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. Look at the pricing. Do they say
They
anything
don't
about
say.
open source? Okay, so they're still in.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
Okay, down trial.
trial.
Okay.
$40 a month. Are you shitting me?
Hey man, mobile app development. There's some money there, you know.
Yeah. That is not the only thing that worked. Yeah. So probably that's the reason why they do it.
They can try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get 20 concurrent sessions, 0.500 minutes included, 500 a month. For yeah, so it's 400 Swedish crowns a month. Hey, the US dollar is expensive as hell right now.
Yeah,
It's
they're doing
at
well,
par
huh?
with the euro now.
They can come here and shop, spend their money.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Some monopoly. Absolutely. Yeah. I will add this to my mental list, but I am not a. I mean, you know, for our students, this would be a bit.
Yeah, it's not possible
Uh,
at this point.
no. Right.
But
Okay.
I mean, if someone has figured it out, then competitors will follow. You know, we'll keep an
Yeah.
eye on the space for sure.
Okay. So right. So how are we? Yeah, exactly. That was my next step. I was supposed to go to GitHub. Right.
Yeah, you need to check out the branch too, don't you?
Right.
Well, you might not need to make any changes. Just have a look and see what the how it ran.
Hold on. What
And
date
it'll
is
be
it?
very interesting to see if this little green check mark appears on the GitHub project. You know, if they can if they can handle that.
Right. Let's take a look at the. Oh, we failed on this. Why?
And just go to details. One, two, seven. Did it run Cypress node? Ran the
Start test was not found. Oh, you have to do yarn. You have to.
you can't use the alias?
You can, but you I think what this is doing. You don't hubba. Let's see. Right, you do not use say you don't say yarn. You understand? You are not installing the dependencies.
Yeah. But if we, yeah, I was kind of hoping that the yarn cache thing was going to take care of that, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess we need a dependency step. But the comment for this file is kind of like it's gonna install dependencies, or does it not say that?
Does it? Well, but we altered the file, right?
Well, yeah, but we didn't remove any run commands. But you're right, it's obviously not running yarn. So that's a little bit annoying.
Yeah. So I think you need to add. I think so. At least. I think you say
Yeah.
After line. Well, here's the thing, cache yarn. Right. So what do we like after line 28? If you just add yarn as a command.
Oh yeah, it's only installing node dependencies, not all the ones we've added. Yeah. Do you want me to
to
take
just
over?
Down, add yarn.
Wow. Are you okay? Let me just quit WhatsApp. So let's see here. Let's go back to our Node.js YAML, and what we need to do is to say run yarn install.
I don't think you need the quotes. But...
Oh no, you do not. You're right.
I think this will fix the problem.
Yeah. Well, let's try it. So no new files, ci-am, and says adds yarn install command to ci YAML. We'll know what that is.
Right.
And git push upstream. So yeah, upstream CI with GitHub Actions. All right. Head over to
I can take over.
yeah. If you're there, then pop that open.
Right. So we have that, and let's see.
Yeah. So you need to go into the pull request. Oh yeah, conversation.
It's running, and we can go
Yeah.
to details.
Uh-huh.
And we have a comment from UT regarding the online runner. It mentions Expo, and that's definitely
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
So we use Expo a lot when we do React Native development. Low configuration, pretty managed and good. So I like Expo. Not sure what your experience is with Expo UT, but I like it.
Yeah, positive as well.
Is setting up the job now? Why is it taking so long?
Bum, bum, bum.
That's weird.
I don't know. Sometimes.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. See, what I'm worried about is this.
Right, he's starting the server. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, that's a good sign. No, actually, this was. I wonder. Nice, nice. We want those warnings.
Yeah.
See, I'm not crazy. I think you may be getting them too. It's just they only appear in your terminal for a short while until Cypress spins up the development server. Perhaps. But this is looking promising. The only big question is, did the caching of yarn actually work? In which case, I feel very good. But hard to tell.
And for anybody who is just joining in on this stream or recording, we are dealing with GitHub Actions for continuous deployment of our open source project. The project is about building up a platform where creative artists and developers can meet and collaborate on digital projects, right? Art projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are testing with Cypress, and we are setting up a continuous integration flow using GitHub Actions for my first time and Max's second time, right?
I think that's fair. It's fair. Yeah. I mean, this is looking pretty promising.
Right. So you see,
so
we have
yeah.
Yeah. So we have post-run actions, right? That is just some preset stuff, probably. But here is probably where we could add some scripts to deploy, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't have to condition anything. So you see, if the first job errors out, then everything else errors out, probably. So if you just consequently say that, run this and then deploy, then
it is doing it in order. No, I think you're right. I think you're right. It would not run the orphan
the orphan
session
processes. I don't know what that means, but probably there's some junk around the whole thing.
But I think if you head back to the pull request, I just want to make sure that it's given us the blue check mark there too. Yeah. Interesting that it's blue, but
it is blue. I thought.
Yeah, I wonder.
It used to
I
be
wonder
green.
what that is. It is green for me on some other things, but I don't know. Maybe it's. Yeah, I don't know. But the point here, I guess, is that we have achieved what we set out to do, which is to get some continuous integration running.
Yeah.
And it is running the tests, and we may or may not have successfully cached the dependencies, which was the reach goal, if you'll allow the phrase, and that's nice. And I think we will.
Absolutely. So one thing about the name, I see that it says Node.js CI here as a name, and this apparently is used here, right?
Yeah.
So if we
Well, we should
name this,
rename it.
we
Yeah.
could name this something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it doesn't really matter. And since this is running on several matrix, so there will be, you can get a green light on node version, and then another one, which we just have to do this, Max. You have to add 17
Okay.
to this matrix.
All right.
You just
Flip over to my screen. I'm ready to go. Here's the Node.js YAML. And I think this is what GitHub picks up on, right?
So you can rename
Node.js.
this to Cypress, or E2E, or no, just say Cypress.
Yeah, we'll call it Cypress. That is very
for
clear.
whoever is watching, the reason why I want to add 17 to this node versions is because we've had some issues with starting Cypress on 17, right? Or at least I had issues. You never tried it, did you?
I don't even have 17 installed on my machine.
Right. Let me just
because I like living in the past,
Yeah.
But okay. So I just cleaned up the comments because I didn't want them. And I'm gonna say git status for sanity, git ci-am, and I'll say I'll just say adds node 17 to actions matrix, which now means something to us. This morning, actions matrix didn't mean squat,
no.
but now it means something.
And it also sounds
we'll do
really cool. Everything with matrix in it sounds cool.
Yeah, exactly. Upstreams, GitHub Actions. Okay, exciting. I've never used the matrix functionality.
Let's see if we can switch over.
Yeah, let's see if you get.
Look, now we see that.
Oh yeah, it's doing two separate ones.
Right. So we're gonna go to the 17 one.
And the second one queues. No, they run concurrently. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, and look, you can switch between the jobs there on the side.
Let's
that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat.
Let's see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could have done something like this on Semaphore CI, but it was never this so easily apparent to how to run different versions of Node, Like, this is kind of neat.
Now, in terms of caching, they didn't cache much here.
Doesn't seem like it.
No.
All right, that's going to be my homework.
And he's installing, so he did install 17 on this one, so that's good.
Yeah, maybe it just caches.
And actually, it's a bit faster because this one, well, they're
okay.
They're on the same.
Yeah. All right, I don't think we should read too much into it.
No, the 16 is.
But so you're hoping that 17 will crash and burn, right?
I don't know what I'm hoping for. I'm not sure. I hope. Well, actually, if it crashes and burns, then there's something wrong with my computer or my node version installation. So I don't know what I'm hoping for. We got some warnings.
Yeah, those are the same.
Yeah.
Just use effect missing some dependencies. We'll sort that out.
And this one is running.
So
that's all good. Let's have a look. I shouldn't be switching this back and forward like this. Right. I'm thinking if we need to instrument code coverage on this project as well. So that's going to be a separate stream. And I think configuration is what it is. I'm not overly fond of it. So the next stream will definitely be a coding stream.
Yeah.
And then we can go back to config. And then what's going down in the kitchen?
All right, 16, you're good.
Yeah, see, this will hang. This exactly what happened. This hang.
For you too, huh?
Nothing will happen now, because that's exactly, when I was doing this locally, I didn't
Hmm.
error out. I
It
just,
just,
it just, you know,
I mean, GitHub will time out. They're not going to let you
yeah, I can
sit
also
on their
cancel
use their
the
servers forever,
yeah. No, so
but
what you
they
can,
certainly have a generous time window there.
yeah, but what you can do, well, it never timed out on my local host, didn't
No,
it?
but I'm saying like GitHub is going to
Oh
time
yeah,
you
okay,
out
okay,
because they're not going to want you to sit on their servers and do things
yeah,
forever, right?
yeah.
Um,
So I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna cancel this workflow, and
yeah.
you can remove the 17.
Okay.
You know,
I'm removing the 17
and
and
I'm just gonna say Cypress node
git status,
17.
git ci-m
Uh,
removes node 17 from.
support node 17. There's an issue,
Yeah.
um, but if an algorithm of key size is no longer support node users passing CA flag open as a legacy. Oh,
OpenSSL legacy provider. Oh my gosh, I recognize that flag from when working between Linux and Apple machines, but now I realize they were probably just using different versions of Node, and I didn't bother
right.
checking.
So let me just run an experiment here, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to package JSON, and I'm gonna do like this. Yeah, just
Yeah.
add this flag to CI open, and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna go over to, this is the project create. I will stash these, right? But I'm just gonna do nvm list, and I'm on 16, so I'm gonna say nvm use 17. And so for those of you who are like not using nvm, you should definitely use that. You can manage several versions of Node on your computer.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good
I
thing.
mean, no matter what coding language you're using, you should use a version manager.
Yeah.
They have them for I mean, every language. I
Yeah.
can't imagine one without.
Right. And
It
NVM
makes your
stands
life better.
for Node Version Manager. We had that
Yeah.
for Ruby or with RVM, and there are for
Yeah.
Python and so on and so forth. Anyway, so if I just do list, I see I am using 17. And so
Yeah.
usually what happened is that when I run Yarn Cypress, that
Mm-hmm.
hang, similar to what just happened on
And GitHub Actions.
yeah, on GitHub Actions. Let's see. Yeah, now I get
Yeah.
those warnings too.
Yeah.
I remember that yesterday I didn't. I don't know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Perhaps I was just turning a blind eye to it.
Wishful disregard.
This apparently did not have any effect. We can wait for another few seconds, but this is not gonna happen.
No, really, I think it's just.
Let's just see.
It's not opening on some other screen somewhere.
Nope.
But was this the place where you would hang previously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. So let's stop this and let's just switch to 16
Mm-hmm.
and run this again. And we get the same warning. Oh, what the hell?
Oh yeah, it does. You have to remove that flag.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
Okay.
16 has the legacy provider SSL thing.
Okay. Sorry. Oof, I was getting a bit scared there.
Yeah, which made it really annoying to switch between the different machines and the student project for them and for me, because like they'd have to do that manually every time. But now we know NVM will sort everything out.
Now.
Oh yeah, yep. You're going further. Yeah. All right.
Right.
So It's real.
It's real. Right. So that's so. What did they say here? Dependency service open. Example tests. Latest network closes. Right. See, I skipped.
It's possible that the solution you just used doesn't work in Cypress 10 yet.
Yeah.
Because we were able to get that working in Cypress 9 this spring.
So here you have right. Okay, so he needed to comment this out, right? Yeah, yeah. You see, this guy he's using actions too on view
using
create
include instead.
boilerplate. Right. Actually, I'm just curious about his. Let's have just a quick look on the workflow. CI YAML, CI jobs, test, steps, actions, checkout, rights. So there's nothing. Oh, but looky, this is interesting.
Nice.
This is interesting. So you can add that on in the matrix. Right, right. Hey,
cool.
Brother, I think we're not done yet. I think.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you need to add that to the matrix.
All right.
So you just say OS as a key.
Yeah.
Right, and then so here's the deal. Look, if you look at just before we add anything, look.
Yeah.
So he's doing dash and Ubuntu latest, but look at this Node version. He's just saying dash 16, which means that he can probably add another line and say dash 17, but we're not going to do it. But I'm saying you don't necessarily have to have it as an array
yeah, there seems to be a lot of options.
Right. So I wonder
let's try this.
If you could have OS as an array too. Do you understand? But let's not try that.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's just say Mac OS latest and Windows latest. Because I think this will error out on Windows.
Is it Mac OS? How did they write it?
Mac OS. Yeah.
Like that?
Latest. Yeah, yeah.
Ugh, looks horrible. Latest and Windows latest, and then I probably need to comment this out. Oh, and now I'm getting an error from build. From GitHub workflow. Each job must have an ID associated with. Okay.
Hold on.
What does he have?
Let's have yeah, exactly. Oh, here it is. Runs on
matrix.os.
Yeah.
Of course, and so that's dollar sign curly curly. Yeah, and we can say matrix.os.
Awesome. Right, let's have a look before we run this. If there's anything else that he's doing.
Yeah, that we might want.
Interesting. So I wonder what this is. Actions checkout version 2, and we're using version 3, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. Anyway, and look. Here it is. This is interesting. So you should say
right.
Node version on, then matrix. You can add that as well. You understand? On the right. Great artist steal. You know.
Okay. So shall I try to push that up?
I don't think there's anything else interesting here. Setup, cache, PM. No. Yeah, no. Let's commit and push. And where are we? Yep.
Actions matrix.
Yeah.
If push upstream. Let's see, I will get our actions.
And here we are. And looky.
Wow.
Yeah.
And each of those, well, right now we only have 16, right? So we're going to get 3, but otherwise we would have had 6, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool.
This is not bad, especially in open source projects, because I
So
think that,
often,
yeah, with developers having different environments and stuff, right?
hmm
Uh, so this could be useful, but also I just want to see if this works. And this is the last thing we do today. Okay, with this one,
yeah,
we're just gonna go on
yeah,
and
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it. Continue on error line for Windows. Seems like this project breaks the on the
Yeah.
right.
We should have a failure on Windows, right? Because of our browser none, maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Or maybe not a failure, but I don't know.
Yeah, not sure, not sure. But in terms of speed. Okay, so we're running tests on Ubuntu. We
Ubuntu
are,
gets the speed points.
yeah, should probably do a little bit of research on how fast this is, like what people say about this. And so, I mean, it's great. Look, it's built in. It's easy to set
It's
up.
free.
Yeah, it's free. Um, yeah. So I wonder how they monetize, this, because they don't have
Well,
to
I'm sure they
monetize
can
it.
speed it up for you for a
Yeah.
fee, don't you think?
But also, you see, Microsoft doesn't have to monetize jack shit, right?
No, they don't. They do not.
They could be just in it for the you know sole enjoyment of effing up semaphore, circle, CI, and Jenkins or whatever.
Yep.
Okay, so we passed on Ubuntu, and we are apparently. Oh, it looks like this is the first time using Cypress. Oh, didn't we migrate to Cypress? No, because you're doing it on a different branch,
That's a
right?
different branch.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
gotcha. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm most curious about the Windows build here
yeah, me too.
because we run this locally on yeah
Right.
on our machines that are both Macs. So
Yeah. And it was pretty straight. It's pretty straightforward to do it on Ubuntu on a Linux machine. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not that doesn't get my juices flowing. But the window thingy would be nice.
yeah.
It installs. Yeah, well,
Yarn
yarn
cache is
cache
not
is not
found.
found.
Interesting. So it has stalled.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and not that cool that stalling is an option. It should install. I mean, it should error out when something is,
Yeah.
you know.
Um,
We're not gonna dive into this now, but we're just gonna make a note that Windows is erroring out. But
yeah.
because it doesn't really matter, we rarely work with somebody that is on Windows. I was just curious, and I think my curiosity is totally satisfied. Can you say that? Is curiosity? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel this one,
Yeah.
and you're gonna remove Windows from this, but we can keep
All right. You got.
the Ubuntu and Mac. Okay.
Okay. You got it. Boom, boom, boom. Windows
Okay, so
from
we have a tip here.
Actions.
We have a tip from our user that we could use Windows 19 instead of Windows Server 22, and that could be a bit faster. But I think that the problem is more with setting up Yarn or something. And yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Windows expert at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I actually take pride in never using Windows. but I do use Windows. I've used
You
Windows.
do, yeah. So do
Yeah,
I.
yeah. So far, yeah, exactly. So for our streaming computers are based on Windows. So the only thing I'm doing is I have a um, I have an audio software that takes in audio from my Mac, and I have
Hmm.
a Chrome browser, and I have OBS Studio, and that's it. That's the only thing I use my Windows computer for.
Yeah.
Just to offload my Mac, so he doesn't cry when I stream.
All right.
Yeah, we're good to go, right?
Yeah, we should start wrapping up.
Absolutely. Let's merge this as soon as these tests are passing.
Yeah.
And tomorrow or I don't know what's your schedule. Well, no, let's do tomorrow instead.
Yeah, we'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna go into coding. We have this sad path
Yeah, that'll be nice.
thingy, so enough configuration. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about deploying with GitHub Actions again when we build our API. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
that makes
we will,
sense to me.
yeah, that's when this will come into play. Right. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I wish you a fantastic, cool afternoon,
Thank you,
if that
and
is
to
an
you,
option.
and to our watchers.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with the little guy. We're going to Gustegården to take some measurements on the fence. I'm gonna build a fence for my livestock.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
See you around UT61. See you around everybody
Yeah.
else. Remember to
See you, everyone.
subscribe
Thanks
and
for
all of that
tuning
stuff.
in. Yep.
Absolutely. Have a